It's hard to believe I'm 30 kilometers away from the ocean. I've got snow-capped mountains right behind me and luscious green rolling hills. And these green rolling hills play an integral part in the next ingredient, which is goat's cheese. The altitude, grass, and the goats that feed on this grass have an absolutely amazing effect on the milk that is then used to make the goat's cheese up here. So I'm going to make one of my favourite dishes today, which is an assembly of ingredients, a little like an antipasto. So yesterday down in the market, we grabbed some local olives. Something I love to do with olives is to introduce other flavours into there. You can introduce any flavours you want, from lemon zest, bay leaf, different herbs like thyme, sage, basil, whatever tickles your fancy really. First thing I'm going to make is a piadina. It's a yeastless flatbread. You just need all-purpose flour, water or milk, salt and olive oil. We put about a cup of flour in there, a pinch of salt, a good drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, just enough water in there to bring this together into a dough. You don't want to put too much at this stage. We can always add a little more moisture into there after. So you need to keep kneading this dough for about 5 or 6 minutes until it's really silky and smooth with a bit of spring in there as well. So to make the olives is really easy. I basically want to take a pan over a very gentle heat. I'm going to use extra virgin cold pressed olive oil, which has got an abundance of flavour in there. And the idea behind warming up the olives in the oil is that we're going to open up the aromatics in there. So we should get a lot of perfume and smell coming through. I don't want to actually kind of fry these olives in there as well. If I get the olive oil too hot, we're going to lose a lot of the flavour from the olive oil. So there's no point in doing that whatsoever. So I'm just going to take one garlic clove, just give a little squash with my hand. I'm just going to put that straight into the pan with some oil. Got a beautiful lemon here, and I'm just going to use a potato peeler just to take a little bit of zest off into there, pop a bay leaf into there too. So after just warming up the olive oil and putting the garlic, the bay leaf and the lemon, I can really smell the aromas coming out of the pan there. So it's those aromas I want to get into these olives. So I can pop them straight in. Let's put some of these calamatas in as well. And just give them a little toss through. And then we're going to give it a little more heat. So this dough's been resting for about 10 minutes. I've kneaded it until it's really gorgeous and smooth. So I'm going to break off just about a golf ball sized piece of the dough and roll it around in my hands so it's like that. And from here, we can roll it out. So we just dust with a little bit of flour. It's also pretty important to get flour on your hands when you're doing this as well. Just flatten that as much as you can with your hands. Grab a wooden rolling pin and just roll it out. Sort of, I like to flip it over, turn it around a quarter circle every now and again so we get it pretty consistent. You don't need to roll it too thinly, otherwise it'll cook too quickly and just turn into kind of crisp bread. So you want it to have a little bit of structure to it. So this is about the thickness I'm after, and the shape is a little irregular. I kind of like that, it's rather homemade, but if you wanted to, you could actually put a plate on top, take a knife and just run it around the outside and you'll get a perfect circle. What I might do is incorporate some freshly chopped dill into here now and then brush the piadina while it's cooking with those oils with the dill through there too. To cook the piadina is really easy. You can do it on a barbecue or on a flat grill, but I'm going to do it on this dry pan right here. So the absolute hero ingredient of this dish is the Oliana goat's cheese, and I really want to let this ingredient talk for itself. I can introduce other flavors. I don't want to do too much stuff to this at all. The goats have done all the hard work for us already. So I'm just taking a little bit of the oil from the olives and just brush the bottom of the pan, because all that flavor from the olives will now come through into the piadina. And we can put that straight in. I don't want to roll it around too much at all. As you can see, it's got an uncooked dough color right now. We'll see that change quite quickly. I love cooking this over open coals or over a griddle pan because you get those beautiful charry marks coming through. So as we can see, we're getting these beautiful brown spots. We're getting a few little air pockets which are starting to puff up. But once we get this color around here, that's what we're looking for. It's almost that cooked pitta kind of color. So I'm just going to take some of the olive oil from the olives and just brush it over the top there. And this is giving us all the flavor into this bread, which will really punch through after. Little finely chopped dill and some cracked pepper. Okay, so this is the kind of thing I definitely put in the middle of the table when I have friends around. Nice big slab of beautiful Oliana goat's cheese. Piadina, which is very homemade. Everyone's always impressed with this. Off to the side. And last but not least, all these olives. And we can just not be too precious with this at all. Scatter them straight over the top. And that's it. That's really easy to do. 10-15 minutes, middle of the table, and a few cured meats.